What a weekend we have in store starting tomorrow on Thursday. Optic Texas on an undefeated streak, going for their first win of the year. That's the big story coming in. And of course, we are here today to talk about Pick'ems leading in to CDL Major 4. In the background, you can see Optic Texas here behind me in the ether. Played Boston Breach just this past week in the very last qualifying round leading into the major. And guess what? If we check out the schedule, Boston Breach is playing Optic Texas in game 1 of the major. So this is going to be a really, really great game. Of course, Optic, if we fast forward through here, because I have yet to post all of this online yet. I haven't done my full recap. Optic took this whole game 3-1. The El Asilo control was the only thing that Breach ended up scoring on, and we're going to get to that in a second. Of course, completely unsponsored. If you are not playing Pick'em, I highly recommend it. Just go to the CDL website. We're going to get to that in a couple of seconds. We're just going to explain how we got to where we are, because I know some people like watching the majors and they don't watch every weekend. They're not lunatics like me and a lot of people who probably want to watch this video. But who knows? Maybe some of you haven't been following it. So let's jump right into it. So far this season, these are the overall standings. So the way the Call of Duty League works is it's broken down into majors, which you can see across the top of the screen. So there's majors 1 through 5, named after the city they're played in. A lot of people may wonder, why are we just calling this Major 4 instead of like the last one that was Optic Texas Major 3? That's because the host for Major 4 was supposed to be NYSL, the New York Subliners, and something happened. I'm no journalist. I'm not reporting on it. If you want to read the drama, you can find it all over on Google and Reddit and all the other, you know where to go. If you're interested in esports drama, you can find it. But ultimately, this is being played on a LAN, but with no live audience. So it's being hosted, I want to say in like maybe Wisconsin or something like that. I don't even remember. Actually, that's something that we can all Google together. Where is Major 4? It is being played in Columbus, Ohio. So I was off. It is not Madison, Wisconsin. It is in Columbus, Ohio. So all the pro teams are flying to Columbus to play in the major there. And the reason that all of this matters is because there is an overall regular season score, which is what's on the screen right now. This is how I believe the top 8 teams qualify for champions at the end of the season. But then in every single major, so if we look at the most recent one that was played, because Ultra won that one, a shout out to the home team, leading into this was the scoreboard. So every single pro team gets to play in every single major. But as we can see right now in Major 4, the top 8 teams get put in the winner's bracket, the bottom 4 team in the loser's bracket, and that's where the pick'em comes into play, because you get to pick every single week, even during the qualifying rounds. You get to pick what you think is going to happen. But obviously, we're already through those rounds, so if you didn't play them, jump in, play the bracket now. It's free to play. Like I said, you can win a bunch of cash and whatever. I've never won anything. I'm B tier at best, let's be honest, but we're just going to go through this thing, and who knows, maybe I'll be right, and I'll show up on ESPN or something. Unlikely. But we have for the game starting on Thursday, so this is tomorrow afternoon. Actually, we're starting at 1:30. So I read it top to bottom. Optic doesn't open the tournament. I guess Thieves and Rocker do at 1:30. But we've got Optic playing Breach, NYSL playing Vegas, LA Thieves playing Rocker, and Seattle Surge playing FaZe. So this is the winner's bracket. If you lose your winner's bracket game, you fall all the way down here to the loser's bracket to play one of these loser bracket teams. Now, in here is the Toronto Ultra, who won the last major. They have not performed well this major, but not a team you really want to play. Also, Florida Mutineers are down here. They've been a team who can win, and Los Angeles Guerrillas has Arcides on their team, who won the major with FaZe last year. Didn't win the major, but qualified for the finals of the major. They ended up losing to LA Thieves, but nonetheless, terrifying guy who killed it last, like his series that he played on Friday this past weekend. Videos up on my channel with that highlights from that series. And Arceus with a sniper on SND, still scary as hell. But let's get into my picks, because let's be real, that's what we're here for. So opening round, I got Optic Texas, and obviously Optic is going to win this. I picked the same score that they just had. I went with 3-1. Just in case, as people watching who don't know how it works, there are 3 game modes played in Pro Call of Duty, at least right now with Modern Warfare 2. So my picks here, Optic Texas, Boston Breach. I don't think anyone here should bet against Optic. It's not impossible, but I don't think it's a close call. If we go to the standings for this major, Boston just qualified. They have one more win than Ultra. They just got beat as well by Optic, and they've been okay, but not frightening. They have looked good in SND in some games. I think last weekend I covered one of their games where they actually did look competitive in Search and Destroy, but just not quite there yet. So then we have NYSL playing Vegas Legion. Now this was tough. This was a tough pick. I'm not gonna lie. Ultimately, Vegas just beat Ultra. Ultra's looked decent so far. They haven't been able to pull out wins, but they haven't been crushed. So even if they lose like a 3-1 series, it's like all the way to round 11 of S&D. The control goes to a decider round. I guess it would be a 5th round of control. The hard points are close. They're like the closest one was like a 25 or 30 point hard point. Like they're not getting slammed by anyone. And Vegas just beat them all the way through a full a 3-2 series, which looked really good. I think Vegas can pull this off. I think if you're going to pick an upset in the first round, this is not a bad one to take. So I have Vegas moving on, and obviously, as you can see right here, Optic and Vegas, I just think it's a 3-0 for Optic. I think whether Optic plays NYSL or Vegas, I think Boston's the only team in this upper bracket that's going to take a map from Optic in these first 2 rounds. So that brings us down to the bottom part of the winners bracket with LA Thieves, Minnesota Rockers, Seattle Surge, and Atlanta FaZe. And I have FaZe 3-0. I just think FaZe is so hot on LAN. They play really well in person. I just think that's the pick you have to make. LA Thieves, also a really good LAN team. Generally, last major, they made it through to the 2nd eliminator round, I think it was. I think that's correct, before getting knocked out. But they always look good, and they typically go down to top teams. Minnesota has a banger lineup. I don't think anyone understands why Minnesota can't be like a top 4, top 5 team overall. Let's see where they are right now in the regular season. Like 9th in the regular season. It's just shocking, right? Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't win a single game last major, and now they've done a little bit better. I mean, they've won 2, but still, it's shocking that they are where they are. I don't see them beating LA Thieves. And then between Thieves and FaZe, you could pick the upset here. LA Thieves could definitely do it. However, they do have a team with if I'm not mistaken, there is a player or two who were brought up from challengers. Not that there's anything wrong with that. This whole year has a few challengers players who look pretty decent, but I just think the experience of FaZe, they've been here before, they're here to clean up. And Thieves tends to do better later in the year. So I have a feeling coming into Major 5, especially into Champions and whatnot, that's where we'll see Thieves be a real challenge. But I think FaZe are going to take them. So let's check out the losers bracket. Uh-oh, I didn't realize. I should have hid the screen. It's going to give away everything. But we have Breach and Ultra and NYSL and Subliners up here. Of course, I had Breach and New York losing in that first round, so they dropped down to the Eliminators bracket. Of course, any loss here, and you're out. So I have Ultra beating Breach in the rematch. Breach took it, I think it was 3-2 earlier. Now I have Toronto taking it 3-2 this time. NYSL and Mutineers. Florida is a team that can do it. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. Every time I post a highlight video of Florida, I always say, I say that like I've been posting highlight videos for years. But when I do post a video about them, I say, you just never know. They can always pull it out. They're one of those teams who you wouldn't be shocked to see a win, just like Minnesota Rocker. But I see them going down to Subliners. So I have Ultra pulling off technically what would be an upset win and moving on. And then Ultra NYSL, always a good game, but I'm giving it 3-1 to Ultra. This is where I think this could be like some hometown thing, all right? If you pick against me, honestly, in either of these two games, I would say, all right, sure. But between Breach and the Subliners, I think Ultra plays so good on LAN. I see them pulling it out in a close game against Breach, and then I see them being more confident going against NYSL. And, of course, I have the LA Thieves losing up above. And I have Ultra beating them on LAN. Especially Saturday, Ultra would be playing 2 games at this point on Saturday, and LA Thieves, if they lose this game, they lose at 3, and they have to stay on stage basically and play at 6 against Ultra. So that's rough. You lose this game, you have no momentum. You win this game, you have a ton of momentum. So you go backstage for an hour, you watch your next competitor lose, and then you go out on stage and play them. It's really rough the way this tournament's set up, but, you know, that's the way it is. So I ultimately have, no matter who wins this game, I think they beat, in this case, LA Thieves. And I have Ultra in that position, 3-1, and we'll get to the finals in a second. So let's move this over here. So I've got Minnesota Rocker and London Royal Ravens, as well as Seattle Surge playing LAG. And I have Rocker 3-1 over Ravens. I just gave Raven a map. I don't know. Why not? Yeah, okay. So, yeah. It is what it is. Surge, 3-0 over LAG. I think Seattle Surge are the better team there. And then when it comes to Rocker and Surge, it's so tough, but I just can't give it to Rocker. I just can't. I don't have faith in the team right now. Not enough. I think the players could do it, but Seattle, I think, takes that. And then ultimately Vegas, after losing up here to Optic, which I think is almost a sure thing. I have them going down 3-0 for the same reason of LA Thieves. So this game is Saturday at 7:30. They would have lost Saturday at 4:30. So they do have a bit of time to recover, more so than the loser of this round 2 game. But nonetheless, it's so tough. You have no momentum, right? You're playing Seattle Surge, who win, I'm saying they win Friday at 3. They win Friday at 7:30, and then Saturday at 7:30, they're coming in on a streak. You're coming in straight off a loss. You've already played that day, and you're not happy. It's tough. And then ultimately, for the final elimination round, I have Toronto Ultra falling to Seattle Surge 3-2. And that would set up, if we scroll over, Seattle Surge and FaZe, because in the final of the winners bracket, I have Optic and FaZe, Optic beating FaZe 3-2. And then ultimately Seattle Surge on that run, because that means you won Saturday at 3. You watched FaZe already lose before you, so you don't even get off stage, right? This is why a loser's bracket run happens, and it's so hard to break. So I have Surge winning first on Sunday, then they win second on Sunday, and then I have them going all the way to the finals, where I think they get beat in the best-of-7 series. I've got Optic taking this 4-2 in the finals, making it the clean sweep. I have Optic not losing a single game this entire major. It is what it is, man. You know, I'm picking Optic to win. Let me know what your picks are. Like I said, I'm mid at best. B tier, C tier maybe. But a teacher grading me on this, I'd probably be a solid B, and I'd be happy with that, right? But let me know what your picks are, what you think of my picks. This is, it's up for anyone. It's a free to play. Let's see, it is what it is. So, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Usually on Thursday, I miss the first few games because I got to be at work. Friday, I'll catch everything. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for checking it out. Check out the highlight videos. Let me know if you like them. I post just sort of my favorite videos of the week and highlights. Shoot some feedback. Stay tuned to the channel because lots of fun stuff. You can watch CDL on Twitch and YouTube now, which is awesome. Makes it easy for me to get VOD content. So check it out for more.